This is Persephone, and this is a project I wanted to start for a very long time. If you know me from Revenge Star, I have a channel that is focusing on femdom, but here we're going to talk about camming and everything you need to know to succeed in the industry. Everything you need to know that no one but me is going to tell you. And I say this with a lot of confidence, okay? So, before we start getting into the advice and what to do and what not to do, let's answer the elephant in the room. Should you really do it? I mean, camming and your boobs are going to be on Pornhub forever? And what if you're not able to be a politician tomorrow? Or a teacher? Or a nurse? Or, I don't know, something else? And what if your family finds out and they never speak to you again? Okay, it may sound like I'm joking, but those are very serious questions, okay? I'm going to tell you the good news and the not so good news. First, the good news, because we're positive people here on this channel. It's completely valid to do camming for reasons that have to do with survival, with escaping abuse, and with actually using like the lifestyle that comes with it as a way to heal from mental and physical illness. Now you're going to say, okay, more bullshitting. What is healing having to do with entertaining creeps online who can't find sex and need to pay for it, and all of this sexism and all of this, the prejudice that comes with it? I'm going to explain to you. When it comes to camming, the biggest problem is that there is a lot of misinformation online. So when you start, you go through a lot of trial and error trying to figure out what to do. I'm going to give it to you summarized. Personally, before I went into this industry, I had around 24 normal civilian jobs. I'm going to be using the term civilian from now on for anyone that I'm referring to who is not part of the industry. And vanilla for, again, things that they are not sex work. For the sex work, we're going to be using the term spicy because YouTube tends to demonetize everything that has to do with sex. All of those vanilla jobs, civilian jobs, had something in common. They were financially abusive. I wasn't getting paid on time. I wasn't getting paid as much as I was promised. In serious cases, I wasn't getting paid at all. There was a lot of sexual abuse going on, sexual harassment, sexual advances from colleagues, from superiors, extremely toxic females who were older than me. And I don't say this in an ageist way. I have nothing against anyone older or younger, but they saw it this way. And they were abusive, sabotaging. I had documents actually stolen from me and so on. And the most important thing is I'm a person that I'm autistic. I also have either borderline personality disorder or CPTSD from abuse. It's not clear which one because I've been formally diagnosed with both. So I have a huge problem with keeping a routine and also keeping a self-care. In a sense of there are days where I literally cannot get up at the same time. I'm also a person that was born nocturnal. Ever since I was a kid, the first years of my life, I didn't sleep through the night at all. And even now, it's much easier for me to sleep through the day. And I was tested and the doctor said that, well, that's how your kid is, and that's one reason I'm an only child. So I needed a job where the hours are flexible, I'm in control, and if someone is sexually harassing me, I can get rid of them. And I have enough money to deal with the financial abuse that was going on in my life, starting from my abusive family. I'm saying those things not to make a pity party, boo-hoo me, the abused sex worker video, no. I'm making this video because I want some people to understand that in many cases, sex work isn't the first choice, it's the last choice. So, if you're a single mom and you don't have money to feed your kid, if you are in an abusive relationship and the choices are staying with the abuser or being homeless, if you have abusive parents and they threaten all the time to stop you from going to college, to lock you inside, if you are in a godforsaken tiny town and there are no jobs, no civilian jobs that you can get out, and you're staying up at night crying and thinking I'm going to be an old person still stuck here, then I'm going to tell you, it's totally legit to do camming and to do whatever it takes to get the fuck out. And whoever says, but it's not moral, but it's not this, but it's not that, I don't care. Personally, I never cared about becoming a nurse. I hate teaching. And when it comes to politicians, I'm pretty sure they do a lot worse things than I've done in my life, so that's that. If your dream is to become a nurse nurse or a teacher or a politician, then by all means, don't do camming. Another thing to consider. What about your boobs on Pornhub that I mentioned earlier? I don't know if you have noticed, but among the tons and tons and tons and tons of videos who are there, we know very few people and we remember very few names. So unless you manage to become the top 10% of the industry who is actually so recognizable, no one is going to bother or care. And I believe the people who write those things to discourage you have a bit of a narcissism or some other personality disorder that, oh my god, you're going to do camming for a week and people are going to recognize you. No one is going to give a shit. Trust me. And if you have the one creepy stalker in his basement who has watched your video 20,000 times, who cares? So if you want to avoid that, there are several things that you can do to hide your appearance that I can talk about in upcoming videos, in a sense that even if worst case scenario happens and someone recognizes you, you can talk them out of it. You can say, that's not me, that's someone who looks a lot like me. Wow, this person is hot. If you play your cards right, no one is going to be able to call you out on it. The chances are being reduced like significantly. I'm saying this because those are things I'm being asked on a daily basis, and those are things that I've asked myself. Like, what about that? It's a one-way street. Another thing that a lot of better than me people struggle with, because guilt and shame were never among my problems for the most part, is, but I have to lie, but I have to live a double life, but I have to hide my true job. What about that? There is truth here in the sense of lying and hiding, especially if you come from cultures that you could be in danger for doing camming, and that has nothing to do with your gender. Men are also in danger. Can be very burdensome. And I'm going to tell you what happened in my case. My parents are narcissists. So everything I want to do in my life, either I'm going to have to lie about it, I mean, when I was younger, not now that I'm financially dependent, or it's just going to be sabotaged. So if you have people in your life that brought you to the point of thinking and agonizing about doing digital sex work, chances are they're not good people. Or they are ignorant people, maybe they're people from previous generations, maybe there are people who want something for you that you don't want for yourself. For example, you're gay in Narnia, deeply in the closet, and they want you to get married and you try to find a way to avoid that. Or maybe you are from a culture that you want to escape. In that case, it's lying for self-preservation. I don't say anything noble into being honest with people that they're going to use your honesty to further entrap you and abuse you. Say it like that. We are at war with abusers, okay? So, if you are in an actual war zone and there are spies sent from your camp to the enemy camp, are you going to say to the spy, hey, be a good person, don't lie to the enemy? When they ask you, tell them who you are? Of course not. Well, who tells you you're not in a war now? Why don't you have any other choices now? And I know that this is not a perspective that any other person in the industry is going to tell you. I'm so sick of the people saying, I love my job. I love making my own hours. I sit down and I make 10,000 a week. That's bullshit. Okay, if you go to forums and if you go to private forums, if you manage to get accepted, you're going to be seeing people bitching and whining and complaining all the time. I believe it depends on the individual. Who are you? What are your choices? What do you want? Do you have mental illness or physical illness? Do you have children? Are you in an abusive situation? This is what determines if camming is going to make your life better or worse. In other words, it's subjective. If you ask me, it made my life better overall. I had very hard times. I'm going to talk about it if you want in upcoming videos. I've spoken about them in my other channel, but overall, the moments that they were critical, I had the support that I needed. You want an example? Last year, one of my cats got diagnosed with a very serious, life-threatening illness, and I took it to the vet clinic, and the vet bills were $700 in 48 hours. And I walked there and I'm 5'2" on a good day, and I paid them $700 in cash, and they saved my cat's life. That was something that old me with my 2 dozen civilian jobs couldn't even dream of. I would need months to save that money just for the cat emergency. Then you say, what would you have done? Would you have let your cat die? No, I would probably have to borrow money from my parents. and be subjected to abuse, humiliation, horrible questions for months. They would force me to quit my civilian job for a job of their choice that pays better but I hate, and so on. So that moment of empowerment, the looks on the faces of the people in that clinic, when this 5'2" girl walks in and pays that amount of money, cash, no questions asked, for me that was an empowerment that nothing, no job in my civilian life would ever have been able to give me ever before. So for me it's worth it. Maybe for you it's some other moment. Maybe for you it's not going to be worth it. Overall, I believe that we regret the chances that we didn't take. So if you still watch this video and you want to try, I'm telling you, cases where you should absolutely try: you're about to be homeless, your physical or mental health is in danger, you live with abusers, you have children or pets or other dependents that you cannot provide for, you have a lifestyle that you hate and you want to try something different. Those are all legit reasons to try coming. Reasons to not try coming. You want fast money. No such thing as fast money that won't land you in jail. You will have to put up the work. I'm going to tell you how in upcoming videos. Your friend's best friend's boyfriend, sister did it and she loves it. We don't do it just because other people say that it's great, because you're going to see it's different than what other people besides me are going to tell you. Horrible case number 3, someone is coercing you. You have a boyfriend trying to convince you to be an internet stripper, or you have a girlfriend, or you have some other freak. This person is a glorified trafficker, and I don't recommend doing that. If you can, if there are authorities where you can go to protect yourself, you go. Another thing is being self-destructive. Your boyfriend dumped you and you decide to actually heal your bruised ego by doing coming. I've seen people doing that. No. Overall, if you want to succeed in this industry, don't make mood-based decisions. I feel bad, I jump into coming. I feel bad, I quit coming. It's a job like any other job, and professionalism is going to be needed. Okay, that being said, I hope that helped your questions. I'm going to keep this channel and post videos as much as I can. If you subscribe and if you share and it goes well, you're going to help me so much, because right now I'm not being paid and I could be posting videos on my other channel that is monetized, so please help me monetize this one too, okay? Thank you for watching.